Jordan Peterson on with the Snorri Mason. You know that saying where when you're a hammer, everything's a nail? Well, you could also say it by playing this clip of Jordan Peterson.
A hammer's a little bit too strong of an object to describe him, but I see what you're saying.
Well, when you're a nail file, everything's a nail.
A nail. There we go.
Usually touch on religious issues and then cultural issues pertaining mostly now to the culture war that we seem to be engulfed in, I would say, not only in the West, but in the rest of the world, and which has actually broken out into a real war, because I believe that the war between Russia and Ukraine, or really between Russia and the West, rest of the West, is a civil war, not just a, what would you call it, post-Soviet territorial expansion on the part of the Russians.
What values do you think are at stake there, like Russia against the West? What do you think it's fighting? Is it liberal values against conservative, or is it something more complicated?
No, it's more complicated than liberal against conservative. Well, I think the Russians are, I think Putin has weaponized a certain degree of anti-woke sentiment among Russians. And some of that anti-woke doctrine, let's say, which is more conservative, he may also believe. But minimally, he's managed to use it very effectively on the propaganda front. And that's certainly one of the factors that's driving the war and sustaining it and causing it. And so...
let's be clear here. Let's be clear here with something. To the extent that there's any... The idea that Putin is selling his invasion of Ukraine to Russians based upon the Ukrainians being too woke is insanity.
It's directly opposite the truth.
Is like to the extent that there's any, they're saying to the extent that they're saying anything that could be construed as cultural in any way, it is denazification. It's like literally 180 degrees from what this guy is saying. But he is so obsessed with his raging culture war that exists in his head.
Which is the only reason anybody knows who he is and why he exists.
And incidentally, the thing that he quit being a professor about because he couldn't mispronoun people without going to jail, that was a law that was passed 5 years ago in Canada, which not only did not say that, but can be shown because no one has gone to jail in 5 years. Now, maybe everybody else just can handle using the right pronouns. But this dude has been all over Twitter, and he got booted because of it, because he would dead name Elliot Page. Where's he been with Caitlyn Jenner? Odd, isn't it?
He needs to go to jail. He just needs to go to horny jail.
It's just, it is just like, we just let a madman run around, just, you know, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't let him run around, but it's amazing the people who are making money off of pretending he's not out of his frickin' mind.
Yeah, and also didn't Putin say something about how the West was trying to, quote, cancel Russia? Like, he was appropriating some of the culture war concepts that Peterson is describing, like the anti-wokeness, but he's trying to say that it's not liberal versus conservative or left versus right. No, that's exactly what it is.
It's too complicated. It's not liberal conservative. It's woke unwoke. That's it. It's much more complicated.
It's just a way for his audience to feel like they are not a standard Republican because they're obsessed with these culture war topics. And like, yes, Putin, a right-wing president, is using right-wing talking points to justify his invasion of Ukraine. Yes.
Those
sons of bitches.
femboys in Ukraine.
Jordan Peterson was asked by Penguin Random House to write the foreword for Gulag Archipelago by Alexander Solzhenitsyn. That's that guy.
Is that true?
That is 100% true.
Totally went over my head. What?
Gulag Archipelago is a sort of famous book about gulags in Soviet Russia, and they got Peterson to write the foreword for it as like
That's actually true.
that's actually true.
He was a man. He was a man, and he would make his bed every morning, despite the fact that he was sent to Siberia. Make his bed. First thing.
The cleanest room in all the gulag.
The deprivation, the torture, but he always made his bed. So, there you go.
So